All right, so I would also just like to say I am really excited about this next panel. We chose these speakers because each is an important player in the future of the Compton Gateway area. Each already has either a specific project or projects underway, or they're going to be involved in either a specific project or a planning process that'll be starting up soon. Okay, so let me go ahead and start with Ron Gastelum. Thank you very much, Ron. Take a seat. Ron retired in 2004 as Chief Executive Officer of the Metropolitan Water District. At Metropolitan, he was notably successful in managing to meet all of Met's water supply demands despite a number of successive drought years. Prior to joining Metropolitan, he specialized in transportation and environmental issues and had served as the CEO of the LA Area Chamber of Commerce, and he's here today representing the Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce. Dan Rosenfeld, who you already heard from a little bit, he's the Senior Deputy for Economic Development, Sustainability, and Mobility for the Office of Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas, the 2nd District of the County of Los Angeles. He's also was a co-founder of Urban Partners, LLC, and as such became a nationally recognized leader in urban infill, mixed-use development, and adaptive reuse. He's a board member on the Central City Association and the Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce, and formerly was a deputy director of real estate development for the state of California. So thank you, Dan. Next we have Barbara Romero. There you are. Okay. Barbara is currently Chief of Urban Projects and Watersheds Division for the Mountains Recreation and Conservation Authority, a local agency exercising joint powers authority for the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy and the Conejo and Rancho Simi Recreation and Parks Districts. The MRCA's mission is to acquire, preserve, protect, restore, and enhance the parkland and open spaces in Southern California. And among her responsibilities are the identification and development of multiple park sites, primarily in urban areas. Derek Ho?
Not yet.
We will be introducing him when he arrives. I'll just say a few words so that he can maybe slip in here. He recently joined the City of Compton as the new Planning and Economic Development Director, and he's been able to make a special trip back here this morning. He was actually in charge of putting together a significant part of the California chapter of the American Planning Association conference in Tahoe, so he'll be running in, I think, from the airport this morning. Our last presenter for today on the panel is Brooke Morris. Brooke is the president of Prism Realty. Prism Realty's motto is bringing opportunity into focus, and his work in the city of Compton includes the growth and development of the Compton Gateway Town Center. So thank you very much, Brooke. And we're going to go ahead and start. My first question for each panelist is to describe the plan that you have for either the portion of the Gateway area, for the city of Compton, or for the Compton watershed. What are the specific plans you have now, or what are the planning processes that you're undertaking?
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm glad to be here. I am going to start by saying that I came today with special interest. My family is actually from Compton. My father's family, truck farmers for many, many years near Enterprise Junior High School. So I spent many years in Compton as a young boy. I still live in the South Bay. I have been watching the community develop, and certainly have had great opportunity to interface with people like Isidore Hall, who is on the MWD board, and Yvonne. Compton has a very rich history in terms of involvement at the Metropolitan Water District. Usually at the very highest levels of officers on the board, long time service on the board. So it's been a pleasure to think about coming back here. The LA Area Chamber of Commerce is not necessarily going to get involved in a project like this. We're not particularly involved in the LA River. But I think, like any organization, the more outreach that we receive from organizations, the more likely we should be interested. We would normally partner with the Compton Chamber of Commerce, for example, on any initiatives that we would undertake. But I'd like to talk about the connectivity beyond that. Projects like this are indeed connected to things happening throughout the state of California. I want to focus on the current discussion in Sacramento that I am a part of on behalf of the Chamber. A special session is about to be called by the governor. Assemblyman Isidore Hall and others are very active in the legislature right now in considering a water bond. Projects like this, and I am using the term loosely on projects because I understand you're still trying to define as a community what it is that you'd like to do, what your vision is. But fortunately, there are organizations that have paved the way. You'll hear from the Mountains Recreation Conservation Authority. They are absolutely present in Sacramento and have done a wonderful job of bringing interest statewide into what we are doing. But for example, in the water bond package I wanted to tell you about, and this is AB 893, there's about $12 billion currently under discussion. And there are two pots of money in AB 893 that might be of interest to you. Chapter 6, Water Supply Reliability. There's $1.5 billion. You have to be in an urban water management plan to be eligible. There has to be a 50% local cost share. But funding is allocated by hydrologic region. And the LA watershed has an allocation of $210 million. And that money can go for projects adapting to climate change impacts, reducing contributions to climate change, other projects to improve statewide water management systems, and other projects and activities designed to meet the needs of disadvantaged communities, including technical and grant writing assistance. If you can figure out a water supply connection, and there ought to be a water supply connection to what you're doing given the groundwater resources that are here and the great focus on the LA River as a potential source of water. And then there is Chapter 9, Conservation and Watershed Protection. The amount there is $2 billion. The Los Angeles River Watershed is called out as one of the entities that will receive funding. And this funding is for a broad array of projects. And again, I think that as we hear from the Mountains Conservancy, Conservation Authority, we may get more of an idea on how we might come together. Now, these bonds might be issued in 2010 and 2012, so they're a ways off. But immediately today, it will be important in this special session that could occur in the next 30 days for us to come together as a community, the supervisor, the county, as leaders, to lend their voices to the legislature and the governor. Put aside your traditional fighting, north, south. This is a real opportunity. There's a real need for us to take this step forward. I know at the Metropolitan Water District, Yvonne and the directors are very actively involved in this. So my message to you is everything is connected. Here's an opportunity for you now to get a place mark for funding for your future plans. Thank you.